Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, all of my beautiful friends from the internet. I hope each and every one of you is doing wonderful on this beautiful Tuesday morning or whenever you happen to be listening to this episode, whether that be morning, evening, or night. Welcome to the Reddit Asks Us podcast, the podcast where we read and react to comments from r/Askreddit. I am your host, Luke Dick. Remember, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever else you get your podcasts, please leave us a rating, and also please leave us a review. You can find, you can also find us on YouTube. Please like, comment, and subscribe on there, if I didn't already say that. And remember, you can respond to this week's question by going to Spotify and listening to Spotify. You don't need a subscription to Spotify. But you can answer this week's question by clicking the description of the episode. Below the description, you should find a white icon that says reply, and you can reply to this week's question, and I will read out that response on the next week's following episode. So, without further ado, why don't we just hop right into that segment? So, last week's episode was, why did you refuse a second date with someone? And we got 3 responses on this one. First one comes from Stressed Human. Great to see you again, Stressed Human. This is why I refused a first date. I had known this guy for 2 years, and apparently all that time he thought I was a dude. It came up that I'm a girl, and the next day after that, he asked me out. Oh my god. Yeah, you gotta refuse the first date there. Yes, oof. Come on. What was he thinking? What was he thinking? Everything's just, she knows, she knows that I thought she was a dude, but things are chill now. She totally wants to go out with me. Why wouldn't she? I thought she was a dude, now I don't. Well, I don't see the problem, okay? Next one comes from Cheese. I wish I had a story to tell. That's okay. I hope that whatever relationship you're in or future relationship, you don't have to refuse a second date. Maybe, hopefully, it's just all things are smooth sailing. Next one comes from Vortex. What's going on, Vortex? Don't really have a story, but I refused a first date with someone because they were stinky. They were the stinky kid. Oh, yeah. That's tough. And then last week's, it was suspended, not expelled. Yeah, that's okay. If it would not fit in the response to the characters. Yeah, it's annoying how they give such a limited response. I think it's only 250 characters. Make them longer. And I also wish I could reply to them too. I can publish them, but it'd be nice if I could reply to them and you guys could comment on each other's. That would be fun. I feel like I encourage more of a community or a communal sort of experience. But it's also difficult because Spotify gives us the moderating responsibilities. So if they did that, then maybe they would have to moderate, and that's a lot for a company. But yeah, you can't go out with the stinky person. You can. It's just, that's us crossing the line. Excuse me. But yeah, that is, man, if somebody, they could be the most beautiful person in the world. They could literally be so gorgeous. Great personality. But if they smell bad, it's why? Why? It is not hard to smell good. It is really not hard to smell good. You shower, wear deodorant, and occasionally wear cologne or perfume. That's it. It's really basic when you think about it. It takes minimal effort. Probably one of the most minimal efforts you could do to just, clean yourself, brush your teeth. Yeah, bad breath is another thing. Hell no with the bad breath. If you got bad breath, sorry. All right. Why don't we hop into to this week's episode? So, as you know, this comes from our favorite subreddit, the Askreddit subreddit. So this week's episode is, what's something that happened to you that sounds fake, but unfortunately is not? So first one comes from your boyfriend Kifa. Years ago, I broke my right foot. After 6 weeks in a boot, I was leaving the orthopedist office boot-free, just me and my own 2 feet, raw dogging the ground. Is that really you raw dogging the ground? I was so excited to drive home now that I was out of that damn boot. And then on the way to the car, I stepped off the curb, rolled my left ankle, and I broke it. You just had to go right back into the office. At least you were right in the spot like that you wanted to be. You can just walk right back in there and be like, yeah, my ankle's broken. The other one. But you got too cocky, though. You got too cocky, my friend. It's if you just got your cast off for your ankle, you can't be running around. No frolicking. All right, that's like rule number 1. You don't want to tempt fate, because then you're overconfident, you're overjoyed, and then look what happens. Boom. Man, one of the most discouraging things ever is like, I play basketball, so very most common basketball injury is rolling your ankle. And oh my God, it sucks when you're feeling good and games are just starting, you're playing pickup, games are just starting, and within the first like game or two, you roll your ankle. It's like, I don't care if I roll my ankle when halfway through or even three quarters of the way through. I'm almost over, whatever. But it's like when you get there and you're feeling good and it's just like, what do I do now? Like, I want to play. What do I do with all this energy? And now I can't, I don't even know if I can go to the gym because I can hardly walk. It is a struggle, folks. It really is a struggle. Next one comes from I Am Planthead. Oh, this is a response. I did something similar. Stepped off the curb, rolled my ankle, foot swelled up, finally went to the ER. I have heart problems, so any stress can be bad news. Didn't break it. They could see that I still had a scar from the injury back 20 years prior. Don't do it again, or you could very well break it. So I left without the boot, didn't give me the option. As I was stepping off the curb, guess what I did? You guessed it. Rolled the ankle, turned around, and just made my way back to the room I had just been minutes before. They were surprisingly empty that night. They hadn't fully processed my discharge papers. They asked if everything was okay. I told them what happened. They gave me the boot after checking if I broke it. Oh man. I've never broken a bone. I'm very lucky for that. I'm very, very, very fortunate. I think I may have like broken my pinky or fractured it or something, because it's in football, because I had sprained it and then I sprained it again and then again, and it was hurt for a really long time. And now there's just like a bone, kind of like part of the bone just like sticks out on the one pinky. It doesn't happen on my other pinky, but one of my pinkies, my left pinky, is like much fatter than my right one. And I think it's just the way that it healed, or maybe the tendons in there. I don't even really know, but yeah, very, very lucky that I've never broken a bone. Next one comes from Chep127. A huge tree branch fell through the roof in my bedroom during a storm, and about a minute after that, a couple of raccoons fell in my room. This sounds, oh my God, I would scream. I don't even know. Like, I hate, like animals, wild animals, feral animals, things like this. Like, what, like, they just, because they're so unpredictable. Like, one of my worst fears is getting like attacked by something like a raccoon. Like, how do you even get rid of that? These little, like, there's little demons, little menaces. It's unbelievable to me that something could look so cute and friendly and just be so vicious. Like, raccoons are vicious. Like, they're aggressive. They will not shy away from, if they feel attacked and they're going to attack, they will just, like, oh my God, that must have been so awkward. Like, what do you do? Like, how do you get them out? Like, I'm running, I'm closing the door. It's like your room now. You guys can set up shop, set up camp. I'm not going in there. Not even a chance. Like, my biggest fear, really my biggest fear, is that a bird will get into my house. Oh my God. Oh my God. I've had birds fly and hit my window, and that's never a good sight to see. But my biggest fear is like leaving the door open and just a bird swoops in and flies in, and just, what do you do? Like, how do you get the bird out? Like, I'm so scared of it just like touching me, and I have like a rational fear of birds. I do not like birds. All right, they are the closest living relatives to dinosaurs. They are just they feel like they shouldn't exist. Why? They're so bug-eyed and just darting. They don't make soft fluid movement. Everything's just dart. It's like they're freaking robots. I understand why people think that like, what are the birds? Pigeons are robots, just put by the government. I found out that was real. I believe it 100%. I totally believe it. They're like cyborg creatures spying on us and planting thoughts in our heads, causing us to fear them. Next one comes from Historical Yam 7902. My grandmother prevented the neighbor boy from kidnapping our next door neighbor. Our house was the bus stop. I woke up sick that morning and didn't go to school. My grandma was the neighborhood grandma and kept an eye on the kids that were at the stop every morning. She was watching the girl at the corner. She was the only one riding that morning. Looked back and she was gone. He was dragging her across our backyard with a knife to her throat. My grandma ran at him screaming and throwing rocks at him while I called the cops. She won Citizen of the Year in our city. Prevented the neighbor boy from kidnapping our next... Oh, I see. The neighbor boy. Why? What is that? Like, what is he doing? Like, what's the... What, like... Yeah, and just this, I'm just gonna go just grab this young girl just by the hair. Like, oh my God. That's, like, this is not gonna end well, man. This is just not gonna end well for you, dog. But, holy crap. That's not even unfortunate. I think the title of this is unfortunate. Like, that's the most fortunate. That's the best that could have happened in that situation. The only thing better is he gets miraculously, like, sniped in the head or, like, hit by a bus while walking across the street or something. Like, well, you know, it's like he's walking in front and then the bus just hits him. But yeah, that's terrifying, man. Holy crap. You never know what kind of people are around you. That's what I'm saying, man. You got to be careful. You got to be careful. This is the one with the second date thing. It's like people are weird, man. People are weird. Like, do you want to see my blood collection? Like, what? Why? What is... I need to leave. I'm panicking right now. People are just scary. Next one comes from Mark McN87. I was dragged out of a tent in my... Holy crap, that's a wild way to start off. I was dragged out of a tent. I was dragged out of a tent in my sleep by a pack of dingoes on Fraser Island in Australia. Holy crap. The animals, they're just unpredictable, man. All right? They're just unpredictable. I woke up to a weird feeling at my feet and saw that they were chewing on my toes. Oh, my God. Oh, that's one of my worst fears. Through the sleeping bag. One of them was standing on my hips/stomach, staring me in the face. Now, I'm not a fighter, but I hit him so hard with a punch on the side of the head, like a perfect right cross to his cute little face. He went flying sideways, which spooked all the others, about 4 or 5 of them, and with a few kicks from my bagged-up legs, they scuttled away. I went back into the tent to find my then-girlfriend still asleep and snoring away. Bro, how do you sleep through a dingo attack? Isn't a dingo like a small kangaroo or something? Dingo. The dingars... Shout out to all my Australian listeners. Like you guys a lot. Love you, really. I do. The next morning, I went over to our tour guide fella, massive Aussie dude named Tarney, and I told him what happened, and he was like, "Did you see which one it was?" And funnily enough, I did. He had a yellow and blue tag on his ear. They're all tagged on the island, and I remembered because they were the Wicklow colors. I don't know what that is, where I'm from. And Tony just said, yeah, I don't want to say that word. I ended up punching quite a bit of wildlife in my year there, but Australia definitely started it. Oh, my sister's going to Australia for a year to do like this program, the travel nursing thing. And my mom was kind of like hesitant on seeing if we can go visit her because Australia is just not like a super big place she really wants to visit. And you know what? It is kind of for me. Australia seems like a pretty cool place, especially just because it's a continent in and of itself and a country. However, I can absolutely see why somebody would not want to go there. It's if you don't like unpredictability in terms of like animals and all that sort of stuff, this is the motherland of that. Australia is like almost another planet. There are animals there that just like are only there. They just only exist there. And there's like poisonous things and snakes. It's hostile, man. And then there's the outback, which is just like a massive freaking desert. Like I wouldn't say Australia seems like a, super it seems on the surface like vibey and chill, but if you make one wrong move, like you could be swallowed by an anaconda. So we'll see. I don't even know if anacondas are there. I really don't. I don't think they are, but a big snake. Who knows? Next one comes from, well, that was just shit. In 1986, my parents planned a trip to Disneyland in Florida. Disney World. A random man tried to kidnap my half-brother by snatching him and running. He was tackled. My brother was safely returned to us, and nothing happened to the guy as he disappeared into the crowd. Fast forward to 1989 in Ohio, at a pop circus in a field, I was given a change to go and get popcorn. A man dressed as a clown approached me, and after several long minutes of small talk, grabbed me. Bystanders saw the ordeal, and a random man with exquisite sideburns chased down this man who had thrown me into his pickup truck and gunned it. Mr. Sideburns and another man were able to pull him from the vehicle and stop the truck as it rolled into a parking lot and hit several parked vehicles. I was fine, other than some forehead scrapes from hitting the dash. The clown was not a circus performer or associated with the circus. He was an opportunistic predator. I can't even say of either of these events were the worst part of my childhood. Also, fuck clowns. Yeah, let me just go and just try to steal this child in front of a crowd of people. That's going to totally work out super well. Yeah, it's not suspicious at all, me running with a child underneath my arm while a child is, like, screaming and crying. Like, it doesn't seem like... I don't think that was a very well thought out plan. I mean, it's good because I think we hope that the people who are labeled predators are not very well thought out people. You know, I think we hope that the people who are, normal have a higher intelligence than that and a little bit more awareness, and then the people who do bad things, like try to steal children and kidnap them and run away with them at Disneyland, are going to be, not in the greatest of mental shape. They're not fully thinking this through. They're just, they're just impulsively kind of doing it, and then we can apprehend them when it happens, just nip it right there in the bud. But you definitely didn't watch It. There's no way. If you watched It, you'd probably have a heart attack. Like this, I highly recommend you never ever watch that movie. But shout out to the man with the exquisite sideburns. But yeah, that's wild. What is up with these people trying to steal children? I always heard about this as a kid and stuff, and even as an adult, like my mom was always saying, like, oh, I don't like. It's always important that, excuse me, you stick close to us when we're out or in public places because, I don't want someone to steal you. And I'm like, steal me? Who wants to steal me? Like what's the why? Why would someone want to steal me? Because, okay, I can understand you want to go and steal, I don't know, a candy bar or a bag of chips or, even money, but a child? Like, why, what am I? And then I got older and I was like, okay, yeah, that's, yeah. But yeah, I don't think these people are thinking about it very, very, very thoroughly. It's definitely harder to steal a child than you think. Especially in the Western world. I think that we've pretty much nailed down how to catch people like that. Not always. Obviously, there are still massive problems, but it helps that there are cameras everywhere. It really does. Next one comes from 4RCH or Arch, I think. Not me, but my uncle. He was in Jamaica when his wife, who was doing fitness classes, died due to a perforated bowel from a meal at the resort, and the authorities drove him to an ATM and told him he's going to be suspect number 1 if he doesn't pay them, and he'll never have his wife repatriated to the U.S. Holy shit. Shit just got real quick. He complied, and they took him back to the resort. Unbeknownst to him, T-Pain was also there and caught wind of the situation and worked magic with his connections to keep my uncle safe and bring my aunt home for a funeral, as well as providing his bodyguard protection to my uncle. To this day, almost 2 decades later, they will video chat on holidays like Easter to talk, and in my view, that man is a saint to our family. Anytime he's in town, they'll meet backstage before one of his concerts, and they'll have a big hug. One time he met his family. I will never forget the kindness this man has shown over the decades. It is insane. And he actually included a link to the image of, wow, no way. Holy crap. There's actually a photo of T-Pain dapping up and hugging the guy. That's incredible. Edit. Yes, that is my uncle. And I want to call out that in 2007, T-Pain was 23. Holy. When he did this selfless act, in my opinion, that just amplifies the character he holds himself to, that you see in his actions throughout his entire life. What an awesome man. That's crazy. That's insane. Shout out to T-Pain, bro. Bass T-Pain. Holy shit. That's wild. What that is, that sounds like a movie. Your wife dies, like just dies. You get a phone call. Yeah, your wife is dead from a perforated bowel. Like, what? That is insane. And it's like, yeah, why don't you just give us all your money or else you're never leaving this country? Holy. That sounds like a movie. And then who rescues you? No one but flamed wing, exoskeleton of a beastly superhero. T-Pain comes and he just wraps his giant flaming wings of fury just around the situation, just boom, decimates the enemy, and is like, I'll bring your wife back to the United States. That's crazy, man. And there's an actual photo to go along with it. That's insane. And it's crazy to think that he was 23 when that went down. Wow. And he's like wearing, like, what is that? Is that Fendi or something? Like a Fendi jacket? And that's crazy, man. That's absolutely insane. So cool. So cool. And yeah, like I feel like I never even heard about this. Not even at all. So there's a reply from Demos Thanes 131. Years ago, T-Pain. Oh, so this, he sent the article, and the article says, years ago, T-Pain told a heartwarming story that detailed the making of his 2007 hit Bartender, and how after that session, he saved the life of a 70-plus-year-old man. The Nappy Boy Entertainment CEO was a special guest on Steve-O's Wild Ride podcast back in August 2021, where he discussed the incident that occurred at a Jamaican resort. This week, the viral clip is making its rounds across the internet. According to T-Pain, the man was getting ready to take his own life after hearing that his wife passed away hours earlier at the resort. I offered him a drink, T-Pain explains in the clip. I was like, man, let's have some fun. Not trolling or effing with people. His name was Bob. Effed around with Bob, and he was like, that police tape back there is because my wife just died in the hotel. He said, I was at the bar taking my last drink. He was going to kill himself. He was like, the way you came up and showed me love, and you just had fun with me, you and your friend. And I still talk to him this day. He was just looking down, and I was like, dude, what are you doing? Get up. That's crazy. Wow. Cool story. All right, next one comes from Right But Always Wrong, spelled W-R-I-G-H-T. I lived in a small, quiet town, and my house was in a cul-de-sac, so all the neighbors knew each other, and we all got along well. One night when I was about 12 years old, I was babysitting my baby brothers, twins. It was bedtime, so they were laying in my mom's bed watching a movie to wind down. Suddenly, they both start whining that they want chocolate milk. I was super annoyed because I just wanted them to go to sleep so I could be off the clock, so to speak. Just as we walked through the doorway and out of the bedroom, I heard what sounded like firecrackers going off in the bedroom we just left. I peeked my head back in the doorway and heard a couple more. It sounded like it was coming from the closet, which was about a foot away from me at this point. I called my mom and told her what happened and that I was scared. We didn't go back into the room until she got home. Once she was home, we discovered several bullet holes through the bedroom, in the walls, in the closet door, and one in the corner of the TV. So we called the cops. They figured that our neighbor had been doing some target practice in his garage and drinking, and his garage wall faced our house, so the bullets entered my mom's bedroom through the wall, just a few inches above her bed, which had no headboard. right where our heads had been while we were lying there watching the movie. If those little buttheads hadn't bothered me for chocolate milk at that exact moment, things could have been very different. Holy crap. What a crazy story, man. You literally saved yourself from getting capped by chocolate milk. Shout out to chocolate milk, man, for real. That's what I'm saying. Chocolate milk it saves lives. Chocolate milk literally is saving lives now. Like we need to up the production on chocolate milk, okay? I think we need to maybe get rid of, like, I don't know, who drinks 3% milk? I feel like why would you drink 3% milk? Why not just drink 2%? What's the real difference there? Right? Why don't we just get rid of 3% milk and all the jugs and stuff that are being used for 3% milk, we just immediately convert to chocolate milk. It sounds to me like chocolate milk is really at the forefront of saving some lives here. You know, it's stopping bullets, man. This is a miracle. Chocolate milk is a miracle. I'll call that a miracle. All right. Next one comes from Lucky Tangerine 9790. I got hit by lightning while driving my car down the interstate. Completely killed the computer system and totaled the car out. Reply from Troubled Water Bridge. I've been hit twice. Once turning off a water sprinkler and once sitting in my living room. My TV was destroyed with that one. How does that... What? The lightning just, like, went through your house and just nailed your TV and you? Bro, that's crazy. Man, I saw... Holy crap. One of my buddies back home is doing a EMT thing, like he's trying to be an EMT, and he was showing me photos in a textbook of someone who got struck by lightning, and that person was most definitely dead. But it was like, holy crap, man. Lightning is no joke, folks. It's not like anyone thinks lightning is a joke. It's not like anyone's gonna be like, lightning, I can handle that easy, bro. Easy. Lightning, what is it? It's just like, you know when you, like, you know, rub your head on a balloon, it gets all, you know, all the sparks, bro. Can't be much worse than that. No. Lightning is no joke. No one's talking like that. But to get struck by lightning, bro, and to live, how are you not superhuman at that point? Like, how could you live? It's just like you're just getting jolted with all the electricity, like a most powerful natural electric force, like just boom. Man, I think I got to study you guys. Everyone gets struck by lightning, man. You got to study you guys. Next one comes from Chris Mitchell 1. In 2012, I lifeguarded at a beach in Delaware. I was talking with a lady who was drinking a glass of wine at the beach. While telling her she was not allowed to do that, Dave Grohl walked behind me. I am a massive fan, and he knew he would vacation at this beach, but never assumed I would run into him. Oh, I knew he would vacation at the beach and never assumed I would run into him. In the moment of being absolutely starstruck, the lady goes, "Oh, you're a fan of Dave, I see." Barely able to talk, I said, "Yes, he is a reason I got into drumming." She then said, "Oh, he's my son. You should go say hi." I let her drink the wine and was able to talk with my music idol for a solid 20 minutes. One of the best days of my life. This doesn't sound very unfortunate to me. This sounds quite fortunate. It kind of sounds like it really couldn't be better than that. Yeah, I unfortunately met Dave Grohl, you know, the drummer for Nirvana, you know, one of the best punk bands, if not the best punk band of all time. Yeah, super whack, honestly. Just not even cool. Kind of underwhelming. I was kind of like, you know, whatever. It was just, I had to talk to him for 20 minutes. I literally had to talk to him for 20 minutes. I kept trying to like, "Oh, really? Like, oh, that's interesting. You like drum and stuff. Like, oh, Kurt Cobain. Yeah, he was a genius. Yeah, okay. Ooh, I've got to, you know, there's a thing. I've got to, yeah, I really just got to, I have to hustle out of here as quick as possible, you know? Yeah, it was such a drag. Next one comes from Response Disastrous 57. My childhood best friend's mom passed away by drowning. My best friend then died a couple of months later by being hit by an 18-wheeler on the side of the road. Her father then died a few months later from throat cancer. Lost my entire second family in under a year due to unrelated incidents. It's been 7 years and I'm still not over it. That is so sad, but this is unfortunate, okay? Meeting Dave Grohl does not sound nearly as unfortunate as losing basically a second family. I think there's the discrepancy there in the weight behind those two things definitely seems quite different. Quite different. Yeah, I don't think it's unfortunate to meet Dave Grohl. Not nearly as unfortunate as that. Next one comes from Recycled Donuts. I was hit in the head by a bowling ball on a trampoline. 911 hung up on my cousin because they thought it was a prank. Wow. That's don't play with bowling balls on trampolines, kids. It's crazy that the police, like, out of all the things that the 911 hears, they were like think about all the people who get shit stuck up their ass, all right, and just constantly, it's just stuff up people's butts, and this is where they draw the line. They were like, bowling ball on a trampoline? No one is that stupid. Sorry, nice try, nice one, all right, nice one. We don't believe this for a second. So, yeah, you're on your own. Have fun with your trampoline full of bowling balls. Meanwhile, his brother's like freaking, or no, this kid was like just bleeding out. He's like, oh, when are they coming? He was like, they said they didn't believe me. So, they're not coming. That's got to be illegal, man. That's got to be illegal. Why would you call otherwise? No one's going to call and be like, a bowling ball hit my cousin on a trampoline, and they're going to be like, cap. That's cap. Sorry, respectfully, sir, we're not coming because we believe that's cap. It's like, well, so someone, Princess Summertop told him to go on. So this is continued from Recycled Donuts. Cousin's brother found it in the woods, sat it on the springs to clean it off and take a look. I was getting up and going to walk home when older brother of cousins dove onto the trampoline. Bowling ball bounced and it hit me in the back of the head as I was standing up. Had enough force to flip me over. I could feel my arms touching the mat, but I visually saw them in the air. Knocked me out for a bit. EMT blew my vein trying to get an IV in. Stayed strapped to the backboard for over 6 hours as they performed x-rays and tests. Pretty nasty concussion. Yeah, I think a concussion is probably like the best possible outcome. Yeah, like I think it could a concussion is probably the ideal outcome there. It seems like out of all the possible situations, a concussion's probably at the top of the list for what I would, want. First of all, missing me entirely, or maybe just nicking me in the shoulders, probably the best, or something like that. But I think a concussion is a pretty safe bet because you could have had irreparable brain damage or died. Let's see which ones we got coming up here. So next one comes from Reddit reader, Am I the Asshole Fan? I was thrown off a motorcycle on the interstate when I was 22 months old. What? Yes, months. My parents thought I was dead because my head was ripped open, skull too, but my mom took me to the hospital anyway. ETA, this has happened in the Midwest on a U.S. interstate. Of course this happened in the Midwest on a U.S. interstate, man. Oh, why would you take a baby on a motorcycle? What is wrong with you? Where's the logic there? Yeah, let me just take like the most fragile thing I could possibly have and just put it on one of like the most unsafe road devices in motor vehicles that exists. Why don't we just mix two things that just don't go together at all? That's like skydiving without a parachute. Like, what? That's just ice cream and ketchup. Like, what are you doing? It just does what? Like, that's like putting hot dogs in Jell-O. Why would you do that? There's no logical, like, there's no thought process going on there. Oh my God, what's despicable. Should have had the kid taken away from you, idiot. That one pisses me off because it's like, why would you ever take a baby on a fucking motorcycle? That's so stupid. Especially on like the highway, on an interstate highway. Okay, you're gonna drive a baby around the town. Okay, that's fine. You're not going at highway speeds, 100 plus kilometers an hour. Like, okay, we make sure the baby's protected, whatever. Drive it around town for a little bit, or maybe just around the block. A 22-month-year-old child is not going to remember the interstate highway you took them on. Like, why? Oh my God. Next post comes from Deddy Zen of Light. I broke my humerus while sitting stock still at my computer desk. Bone cancer had eaten through it and chose at that moment to just snap in half. Oh my God. 0 out of 10 do not recommend. Edit, just to answer some questions. I did not realize I had cancer at the time. This was how I found out. I had my elbow resting on the armrest, so I imagine the pressure was what finally did it in. I'm okay now, almost 10 years in remission. Holy shit. In that moment, you would like, what is happening? I broke my back from sitting on a chair. Like, that would be, you'd be in just the excruciating amount of pain for just be like I literally was just sitting. Like, it doesn't get much more basic than that. Next one comes from This Is a Bad Place. Not mine, but a friend's story. When she was about 5 or so, she went at CVS with her dad when someone robbed the store. While the robber was pointing a gun and yelling at everyone to get on the ground, her dad, being an Asian man born in Asia, says, Happy Halloween. He thought it was a costume. This happened in November. Oh my God. Yeah. So someone, Cycling Kitten, do you know what happened after? I'd like to imagine the robber just canceled the whole thing because he found out the dad was too cute to threaten. This Is the Bad Place responded, from what I remember, she said that once the robber pointed the gun in his face, he learned pretty quick that he wasn't playing. Happy Halloween. Oh my God. That is a tough introduction to America. That is a tough introduction. It's like, yeah, don't they do Halloween here in America? It's like where you dress up, with a mask on your face and all black, and you go and pointing a gun and start yelling people at stores, and they ask for candy, right? And it's like you point the gun at them, and then they're like, this is when we all get on the floor, everyone gets on the floor, and then the clerk goes into the back and gets the candy, the special candy for Halloween, and then, yeah, that's not how it works here? America's confusing, man. America's a confusing place, Halloween and such. Next one comes from Dogs and Guns. I have randomly come across not one, but 2 people attempting or about to attempt suicide. Didn't know either of them, both totally in different locations. Both times I was just living my normal life, and then suddenly I'm trying to stop a suicide. Ambulance came and got the one. The other one, after a very long talk down, ended up taking off upon realizing that I had dialed 911 so the operator could hear what was going on. Wait, so the one person did commit suicide? Or the other one, long talk, ended up taking off? Just maybe running away. Oh, okay. Well, you prevented 2 suicides. That's a pretty big badge of honor. So I salute you, sir. That's you obviously were the right person to see. Because there are some people that if they ran into someone committing suicide, that they would not be nice, and that's not the ideal goal there. So they ran into you for a good reason. So wear that on your sleeve, my friend. Next one comes from Sad Campaign 8940. There's a lamb that hates me and goes out of his way to kick only me when I visit my father's farm. Like I said, animals are unpredictable. Okay, I don't know. Even dogs and cats, like dogs maybe less because it's only some dogs. Some people who don't train their dogs, they're just as unpredictable as any animal. And then cats are fairly chill, but they don't listen, so they're unpredictable. They can do anything. They might just rip your shoes apart one day. Just no warning, no, I'm going to just destroy your things, claw at them, and just completely destroy them. Animals are unhinged, folks. I know we probably have a lot of animal lovers. I never grew up with animals because I'm allergic to all animals. So, but I do like animals. Don't get me wrong. I like dogs. I like cats. It's no big deal. I'm a fan, but I'll never be able to own any animals. That's for sure. Next one comes from Cracks in the Egg. I was cuffed down and thrown in the back of a cop car after being accused of stealing cars while walking through a bowling alley parking lot. I was 12. You were the prime suspect? Like, yeah. All right, officers. This is your captain. We've been seeing a really suspicious 12-year-old. Yeah, we're really thinking Grand Theft Auto on this one. And multiple cases, multiple instances. We think he's a serial Grand Theft Auto. We honestly think he might be the kingpin in one of the largest operations we've ever seen. All right, folks, so it is priority numero uno that we apprehend this 12-year-old. This is it's unprecedented. Completely unprecedented. We've never seen anything like this. He might be unpredictable. Who knows? He might have remote-controlled cars that'll run into you. We don't know. We don't know what this 12-year-old is capable of, but one thing we are certain is he's involved. He's heavily involved, so watch your back. And at the earliest possible option, at the earliest possible time point, if you feel unsafe, draw your gun and just fire. Just unload on him. All right, we can't let criminals like this get off scot-free. If we shoot him, we shoot him. All right? So what? He's 12. This is Grand Theft Auto we're talking about. Serious crimes. Next one comes from some doof you won't like. I was in elementary school. When I was in elementary school, sorry folks, we went on a class trip to one of those old colonial towns to see how life was back then for settlers. During lunch break, I was going to the bathroom, and a man paid me to take pictures of me in the bathroom. I was really excited to get money. Next thing I knew, I was in a police car, scared out of my mind that I was in trouble. I kept apologizing to the cop while my mom tried to calm me down. I remember crying all night because my principal would hate me because I made the cops come. What an odd memory. This is fucked. Kids, man, like, just, I mean, if I was a kid, I probably would have thought the same thing. Like, a couple of photos, $20. I can buy like 4 bags of chips with this, so I take pictures all the time. I've got a little camcorder. I've got my DS. It has a camera on it, so I know a thing or two about photos. Yeah, no, that's fucked. That's fucked up. Let's maybe read one more post off. Next one comes from, let's see if I can find a good one. Meet IRV. I rescued my father from the Sinaloa cartel outside Guadalajara in 2007. He was there on business, launching a broadcast satellite, and had a major heart attack when taken into a small clinic and held for ransom by the cartel. Machine guns, private jets, pockets full of cash. I got him back, and he lived another 10 years to see his grandsons born. How? How did you rescue your father? This is way too short. Meet IRV. Okay, you need to write us a screenplay or something. We need a 1-act. All right, you need to tell us how this all went down. You can't just be like, yeah, I rescued my father from the Guadalajara from the Sinaloa cartel. Yeah, well, no biggie. It was cool. It was whatever, Didn't want my dad to die, so you got to do what you got to do. Like, you're just going to leave us there on that massive cliffhanger? Like, maybe you could just elaborate maybe a little bit, just to tell us how you saved your father from a cartel. Sounds like a pretty badass story to me. All right, folks, why don't we wrap it up there for today? Thank you all so much for tuning into this week's episode of the Reddit Asks Us podcast. Remember, I am your host, Luke Dick, and this is the podcast, the Reddit Asks Us podcast, where we read and react to comments from r/Askreddit. I am your host, Luke Dick. Remember, if you're watching on, or if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever else you get your podcasts, please leave us a rating, and also please leave us a review. And you can also find us on YouTube. Please like, comment, and subscribe. You can answer this week's Reddit question by clicking the description of the episode in Spotify, and there should be a white icon that says reply, and I'll read out that response on the next week's following episode, and you will be notified when your response is published. Peace out. Love you all. Bye.